Some say that a horror movie lives and dies on the third act, and while that may be true to an extent, I can't discount the rest of the movie just because the ending was amazing or terrible. Yes, it contributes to the overall film, but the movie had to have some sort of build up to that ending that kept you engaged and interested in finishing it. But yes, sometimes the filmmakers and writers do miss the opportunity to finish a movie with a killer ending. This list here is going to be 9 horror movies that, in my opinion, were ruined by a lame AF killer reveal and could have been much better had they ended the movie differently. I will be spoiling some of the killers in these movies, so I am putting out a spoiler alert right now. I will put the timestamps for every movie in the description below. That way, if you haven't seen a movie and don't want to be spoiled, you can skip that chapter. If there's a movie you want to see, there will also be the streaming services each movie is offered on as well. With all that out of the way, here we go. Number 9, Sorority Row, 2009. I don't know why, but I low-key love the 2009 slasher Sorority Row, even if I wasn't a fan of the killer reveal. Sorority Row follows a group of sorority girls that are throwing their big beginning of their senior year party at their house, and a few of the girls decide to play a prank on one of the sister's boyfriends because they found out he was cheating on her. They have her fake her death, and they drive out in the middle of nowhere to pretend to dump the body in the water. But when they get there, the boyfriend stabs a tire iron through the girl's chest because he didn't want her to float after tossing the body in the water. Only does he realize a few seconds later that she wasn't dead, but now she definitely is. Everyone vows to not speak of the night ever again, but when the end of the year rolls around 9 months later and everyone is about to graduate, a killer shows up and starts taking out all of them because the killer says he knows what they did to Megan. The characters spend the movie trying to survive while also trying to figure out who is killing them, and when there are just a few girls left, it turns out to be Andy, who is the main character's boyfriend, and Cassidy slipped up to him a few months ago on accident. What they did, but he didn't think she would tell anyone. Well, now Andy is out to kill them all because he doesn't want anything to ruin his and Cassidy's future. And if no one else is alive, no one will be able to snitch on her. The movie had promise, but the ending reveal just felt a little lackluster because she was barely featured in the movie, and I hate when the killer turns out to be someone we barely even know. Like, where's the fun in that? Number 8, All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, 2006. All the Boys Love Mandy Lane is your typical slasher movie, where it centers around a girl that you think is going to be the noble final girl that you cheer for in the end. Although I doubt after the Johnny Depp fiasco, many people would be cheering for Amber Heard to be the sole survivor in a horror movie. Luckily, this movie was made in 2006 before she became truly famous. The movie is about Mandy Lynn, who is played by Amber Heard, and she is a pretty girl at high school that all of the guys want to be with, hence the name of the film. After one of Mandy's friends dies in a sad pool accident, she starts to hang out with the popular crowd a bit more, and even goes to spend time at a ranch in the country with a few of her classmates. All the guys there that are going only want to use this opportunity to hook up with her, but it won't be that easy, as when they arrive, everyone starts to get picked off one by a random stranger. As the movie inches towards the climax, we find out that Mandy's not so cool friend Emmett is actually doing Mandy's killings for her because she wants the popular crowd to pay for the accident that happened at the house party. But that's not the major letdown. At the very end of the movie, Mandy kills her friend Emmett, so no survivors are left, and she will look like the sole final girl as mentioned earlier. But we don't really find out why she killed Emmett. Emmett would have never snitched on her as he is in love with her and would do anything for her, but she still decided to kill him anyway, and it just didn't make sense to me. Number 7, Thanksgiving, 2023. Thanksgiving follows a group of friends on Thanksgiving night that decide to go Black Friday shopping with each other. Luckily, one of the girls in the group's dad is the owner of the department store, so they are let into the store earlier than everyone else. The kids mock the people waiting outside, so this causes everyone outside to riot into the store as they are pissed. And once everyone gets in the store, people start dying from being trampled on. It's just a wild mess of a scene. Many people sadly die in the accident. Now, a year later, and someone is harassing the same group of friends that was responsible for the Black Friday accident, and the killer is making it known he will not stop until they are all paid their life to him. Turns out to be a pretty basic slasher for most of the movie. We are wondering who could be doing this because it could literally be anyone that was at the store that night because everyone there saw they were responsible for everything that happened. Well, at the climax, the killer turns out to be the sheriff in town, and he was having an affair with the store owner's wife, and she was about to leave him, and they were going to spend their life together. That couldn't happen though because she died in the store accident, and the sheriff was making all the kids pay. I mean, it's not the worst reveal ever, but really felt lackluster to me, and I feel there were way too many clues throughout the movie to be genuinely surprised when the reveal happened. Number 6, Black Christmas, 2019. Okay, the part I said that some of these movies are awesome all the way up until the reveal, well, I can't say the same thing about this movie. The reveal is just so terrible, it had to have a spot on this list. This movie is almost a disgrace to use the Black Christmas name, and the story isn't anywhere near as close as it was in the prior two Black Christmas movies. Felt like a clickbait movie title, for being honest. The film is about a group of sorority sisters who want to bond over the holidays and also spend time to expose the men in a local frat who have committed crimes against them. However, it turns out members of the sorority start getting murdered right after receiving texts from someone impersonating the controversial founder of the college that they attend. Okay, so now it's pretty obvious this fraternity and sorority do not get along with each other, and it's not a stretch to think they are the killers. And if you thought that, you are 100% correct. But want to know why they're doing it? The founders' fraternity is pretty much a cult, and they are trying to sacrifice the sorority sisters. There is a weird black goo that leaks from the founder's bust, and the goo possesses the frat guys and sends them out to murder anyone that has stepped out of line. And since the girls were accusing the guys of heinous crimes, the possessed guys wanted to take them out for good. Yeah, this really was an ending to a Black Christmas movie. Yikes. Number 5. I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, 2006. If you have seen the first two I'll Know What You Did Last Summer movies and this one, you know how much different the third entry is compared to the first two. For one, it's a whole new cast, and none of the original characters are in this one. And want to know what else changed? The filmmakers strayed away from a traditional slasher and went into the supernatural direction, and man was it bad. A group of teens accidentally kill a fellow friend on a 4th of July prank. They all band together and decide to take their secret to the grave, similar how they did in the first movie. Little do they know that they will be taking their secret quite literally to the grave, as 1 year later their secret comes back for revenge. Seems fine at first, but when you realize the killer is the ghost of Ben Willis, and who is Ben Willis, you ask? He was the killer in the first movie that was killing to seek revenge on the group of friends that thought they killed him. So this begs the question why Ben Willis would care at all about a new group of people that had never been mentioned before and what they accidentally did to one of their own friends. The group literally did nothing to him, unlike the friends in the first film. So why haunt this random group of people? It's just laughably bad and almost worth a watch just to see how bad it is. Number 4, There's Someone in Your House, 2021. Laconnie Young has moved from Hawaii to quiet small town Nebraska to live with her grandmother and finish high school. But as the countdown to graduation begins, her classmates are stalked by a killer intent on exposing their darkest secrets to the entire town, terrorizing victims while wearing a lifelike 3D printed mask of their own face. Laconnie, with her own mysterious past, joins her new classmates to try to discover the killer before they become the next victims. Towards the climax of the film, the killer is revealed to be one of the friends in their own friend group. The rich, funny party guy Zach Sanford turns out to be the sadistic maniac killing everyone. His reasoning in doing this, he saw the hypocrisy of people and got sick of everyone in the town hiding who they truly are, and he wanted to expose all of their deepest secrets and then kill them. He's killing people because they hold secrets, but what person in the world doesn't have secrets of their own? Terrible reason to go on a killing spree and kill all of your best friends and your family. The killer did catch me off guard, though. I will say that. Number 3, Scream 6, 2023. I understand this won't be a popular opinion because Scream has one of the most loyal fan bases in the horror genre, and I love the franchise just as much. I just think the Scream 6 reveal felt so anticlimactic and really pretty obvious because who else would it have been? There was barely anyone else featured on screen enough to be the killer that wasn't part of the core four. So we all know what the Scream franchise is at this point. It's basically a killer ghost face going around slaughtering people in the town until the main character can expose the identity in the end. Sometimes there's one killer, others there have been two, but Scream 6 had three killers, which was a first. But like I said, who else was on screen enough to be a red herring for the viewers? Maybe Sam's boyfriend? Also, this exact same motive had been used already in the Scream franchise, and that is the family of a previous killer coming back to seek revenge for the deceased. Also, the roommate of one of the core four dies about halfway into the movie, but we don't actually see the death happen, just the aftermath. And how often does Scream have off-screen kills? But yeah, the family of three killers just didn't do it for me, and I felt there were better ways to cap off an otherwise fun Scream sequel. Number 2, Totally Killer, 2023. I just want to start off by saying I love this movie, and I thought it was a damn good watch. The killer reveal was a little underwhelming, but I liked the rest of the movie, so it should still get its flowers. In 1987, three teenage girls, part of a group of friends, were murdered by the Sweet 16 killed in the quiet town of Vernon. In the present, these unsolved murders are still the most famous thing to have happened there. Pam Hughes was the fourth member of their friend group. Now she has her own teenage daughter, Jamie, who she is nervous about letting go out alone, but eventually gives in. One night when Jamie is out, a masked killer breaks in and murders Pam, and it would appear the Sweet 16 killer is back. Jamie then uses a time machine invented by her friend to return to 1987 and try to stop the killings and thus save her mother from the killer by changing the past, like a butterfly effect type of thing. Not only must she get close to her mother and her friends in 1987, she must find a way to get back to the present and avoid becoming another victim of the killer. And then we learn that the person that killed her mom in 2023 turned out to be a true crime podcaster, and he killed her to make it look like the Sweet 16 killer was back, and he knew that her death would get his podcast tons of more views as he podcasts about the Sweet 16 killer. Murdering someone to help your podcast draw ratings has got to be one of the silliest motives I've ever seen in a horror movie, but the rest of the movie is a ton of fun, and you should definitely check it out. Number one, High Tension, 2003. High Tension is one of those movies that is designed to make you feel a certain way. It is a French film, but if you don't mind foreign movies with English subtitles, you should definitely give this one a watch. This movie follows best friends Marie and Alex, who head to Marie's parents' secluded house in the woods to get away from school for the weekend. When they get there and all settled in, a deranged killer in a van then arrives and murders Marie's parents and takes Marie captive. Alex was able to get away before the killer saw her, and she will spend most of the movie doing her best to save her best friend from the evil killer and get the hell out of Dodge. Well, plot twist, the killer actually turned out to be Alex, and she had a split personality that she had no idea about. Her split personality is a serial killer, and I mean, the reveal is alright, but I just feel the split personality trope has been done to death at this point. If it doesn't even feel like a twist, and it's almost expected, but it's still a good movie nonetheless. Any other horror movies that have lackluster twist or killers in the end? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.